Jane Larsen Insurance. You have been covering us for so many years. In fact, I think about 25 now.
That's right.
25 years. And you take care of us with insurance needs. And insurance can be very confusing. And let's talk specifically about auto insurance.
Okay. Auto insurance is one of my favorites because it is something that we all have to have by law. And there's so much that's involved with auto insurance. But I kind of wanted to start out by talking to you a little bit about the liability. Liability protects you in the event that you get into an accident, and the state law requires $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident. And then the property damage part of that, there's a segment. There's the property damage, the liability. But the property damage, if you totaled out my car and you had a $25,000 property damage and I had a Cadillac, you would be in trouble.
Well, because the law, like you say, the minimum is so low that you might not cover, and I might be, losing my home possibly? Does it affect me personally beyond that?
Well, yes, because if you have assets, and that's why it's important that we talk with you and find out what you've got. You know, they say you can't get blood from a turnip, but you know, I've seen situations where they actually garnish wages for future earnings. But I don't want to scare you, but I want you to be knowledgeable and protected. So let me explain on the liability. What the liability does is protects you against someone that you hit or injure, and they come after you, that your policy will have enough liability there to pay the coverages. 100,000 per person or 300,000 per accident is not that much more expensive, and you've got so much more coverage.
So for a minimal amount per month extra, that is a huge increase from 25 to 100.
Right, it's awesome. It's 100,000 per person, 300,000 per accident. Also in your policy, you have coverages called uninsured motorist and underinsured motorist. And a lot of people, Laura, think that these coverages cover your car. And all these coverages do is cover you in the event of a medical settlement. So let's pretend that you hit me and you don't have any insurance. My policy would pay me a medical settlement only under my uninsured motorist. And that's the commercial you see, one call, that's all. That's where they get the money. It has nothing to do with your car or anything. It actually protects you from someone that does not have enough insurance or does not have any insurance.
Coming after you and trying to get money from you personally.
Well, it's a medical settlement injury, okay? Also, you have medical coverage on your policy, and this is the most inexpensive coverage that you can buy. Allstate sells up to $100,000 of medical insurance, and it covers all the people in your car. The state minimum is $3,000, and you can purchase $100,000. And so just imagine if you have 5 people in the car and they get into an accident, that will cover $100,000 per person 5 times. No deductible, 100%.
Wow, that's fantastic to know. Well, you know, again, it can be confusing, and you're not trying to scare us, which I really appreciate. Jane Larsen can sit down with you right here in your office, her office, and explain each aspect of auto insurance. And I like the fact that for minimal amounts more, I can have huge amount of coverage.
Well, you know, we all need to save money in today's times, and I will do everything that I possibly can to help you. But I want to educate you, because when you see the difference between this coverage and this coverage, and for the pennies that's different, you're protected properly, you don't have to worry, and it's not always about the money. The coverage is what we need to be looking at, and of course, our budget, you know, is important, and I understand that.
Well, we're a state of huge families, and there are things that we need to consider to protect those families. And so Jane can take care of that for you right here. Tell me your location here.
Well, we're at 580 North Main, Suite 250, just by the Clock Tower Plaza, just next door to the Clock Tower Plaza.
You can't miss it. It's so easy to find. And remember that it's not about the dollar. It's about the value that goes with that dollar, and you can explain that to each one of us individually.
Yes. I would really appreciate you to call me and get your policy out that you have, and I will compare apples to apples, and we'll see exactly, what we can do for you. And I really appreciate being in business and being here and having you, talk to me about this today.
Jane, you've serviced us well for 25 years, and you'll continue to do that right here in Logan. Thanks so much, Jane.